Greetings, Martha Creek, reading Martha's Pearls, A Spiritual Approach to Life. Chapter 18, Fearlessness. Fearlessness. For as long as I can remember, my dad and mom both have told me that I was a good child, well behaved. I didn't need to be told twice, and that I understood their directions before I was verbal. This left me curious as to what would be the cause of this type of response versus being a hardhead. Not behaving, having to be told over and over and over, not understanding, or even disregarding parental direction. I suspect that fear was the underpinning for it. Fear of disapproval, fear of upsetting them, fear of being seen as bad or as a problem, an inconvenience, a cause of upset. Fear is such a painful, stressful existence even when we're not aware of it. The seeking for something, addicted to getting it, seeking also to avoid what is painful, seeking to avoid what is stressful and emotionally traumatized when we don't get our way. Imagine being free. Imagine being free. Imagine being free of seeking love, free of seeking love, free of seeking approval, free of seeking appreciation, free of seeking acknowledgement. What would that be like? Imagine being free, period. My mother is deathly afraid of snakes, according to her, and according to the fact that she jumped out of a boat in a river one time because a small, according to my dad, snake fell into the boat from a tree limb. When she jumped out of the boat, she caught her leg on the seat of the boat and tore the ligaments in the leg. She was on crutches for weeks. When frightened, we regress into the smallest part of the brain, the reptilian brain, the part of the brain where we have very limited repertoire of response. So limited that it's fight, flight, or freeze. My mother went into survival mode. I have an interesting relationship with rules. I value them and I rebel against them at times too. The rules say don't pick up a snake. I say, okay, I don't want to be snake bitten and I don't want to live in fear of snakes. I've had several opportunities to look at this fear, including during a trip to Australia several years ago, several decades ago, actually, now. While fearing the possibility of being bitten by a snake, I was actually open to transforming and transcending that fear. In addition to the fear of snakes, I'm aware that others have a fear of heights, for example. While this is not as much a fear for me, I can relate, particularly when I went hang gliding and had to step off a tall, very tall cliff into thin air. I had to coax and seduce several friends to go on various high rides, roller coasters, and such with me over the years. There are rules there too. Hands and feet and heads must stay within the ride, please. This is not a rule I've been tempted to break so far. I let a snake crawl up my arm. Even with the fear, I chose to have an experience of the snake. Fear is present, and a snake that wouldn't harm me. There's also a photo of me riding a roller coaster in Six Flags San Antonio, Texas. In the photo, it appears I'm frightened. The look on my face says fright. The truth is, I was terrified because a precious, irreplaceable earring that my friend Artie, who is seated behind me in the picture, had insisted that I wear that day, and that earring had just flown off my ear into the floorboard of the roller coaster. I had caught the earring under my foot and was very committed and focused on keeping my foot solidly on that precious earring until that roller coaster ride was over. So I was frightened, but not about the roller coaster. Rule 1, don't wear precious things that belong to other people. Period. Actually, don't wear precious things regardless. It's too stressful. I love Independence Day. It is a reminder to me to let freedom ring and that I am no longer a hostage. In some situations, I'm no longer a hostage to fear. Step by step, we can liberate ourselves from any FEAR, fear, false evidence appearing real. What scary things are you willing to overcome? What scary things are you willing to push the limits for? I hold the freedom possibility for me and for you. I hold a possibility of fearlessness as reality. May we all discover this treasure. MarthaCreek.com to contact me.